Howdy folks, another weekend shave, and the soap I'm going to be using, DeLuxe Mods. Comes by the way of Canada, so it looks like on the inside, and you can push your finger in there. It's not too terribly hard. The brush I'm using with it is also a DeLuxe 24mm synthetic knot. Pretty nice lather. I've already put a hot towel to the face, worked in the bloom water. The Shavette I'm using today is by the way of, it was provided by the way of Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. The tightness here can be adjusted. The blade inside is one of the things I've been working with. This one here is a Personna, like a mini hair shaper. This Shavette is not designed to take one of those kind of blades, but I've managed to figure out how to work it in there, and so far it's working just fine. Don't know if you can see right there. That's how much blade is exposed, and it's staying put, working quite well for me. Got my Allen block, complete with rubber band, and today's Witch Hazel Humphreys. And we'll go ahead and get lathered up here and get started. The thickness of a injector blade versus a DE and how it affects the shave, there is quite a bit of a difference on how the shave feels. Even when I was using the Schick injector, when it started to get a little tuggy, it's a lot different than when a DE blade decides to get a little dull on you. The whole shave experience is different. To me, my experience has been is that these blades, I get a smoother, more comfortable shave with them. Alright, start with pass number 1 with the grain. To me, like I say, it's just a smoother shave. There's such a difference in between the two. If you ever looked at an injector blade, it does have some cutouts in it for an injector, but it's not, like I say, not designed for this Shavette, so you have to center it, the blade, you have to center it there. And the top of the blade rests right on those two posts, up next to it, that is. And that's about as good as it gets. The swing clamp on the two Shavettes, I used this one here as well as the Classic Samurai, seem to be, how you say, tight enough to hold them in place. That's the risk, is that that's what's more or less holding it in place. Due to the width of the blade, in other words, I don't see a way of modifying that blade where it would take more of a benefit from those stops. In other words, you have to excuse me, you have to modify the Shavette itself where the location of those stops are at to benefit where the notches or the cutouts are at on the blade itself. I guess I probably should say this is the fourth shave on this blade. Kind of tell this soap has plenty of slickness. So if you plan on trying this on one of your own shavettes, you should be very careful. I think overuse, and I could be wrong, haven't had these shavettes for over a year and haven't used them for that length of time to know for sure whether that swing clamp is going to hold things in place like a new one would, or relatively new. Depends on your definition of new. Like say it's less than a year old. If anything, this with this kind of blade, it gives you a shave similar to if you've ever used a feather. And to me, it feels like the injector razors that I have used gives you that kind of feel to it. I know I keep talking about it, but there's a big difference in how this feels when you shave with it. Still pretty smooth on the fourth shave. I noticed the last time on the Schick injector, it was against the grain is where I noticed where it wasn't cutting quite as nice and not near as smooth. The way I also look at it is if you got plenty of blades, I don't stretch these things any further than what I want to. So if I'm starting to get a little tuggy on the blade, I get a fresh one. Alright, gonna wet the face and get ready for pass 2. It is about time for a haircut, it looks like. Don't know how much you guys keep up with the news in the way of the internet, but I guess the bad guys have been busy again. Look at all that lather. Causing issues with Instagram, Twitter, and whatnot. Not sure what the purpose was outside of just disrupting things, or if this is just a test run for something much bigger. Kind of feel like that might be the case. It's just a test run. You can get DeLuxe soaps and brushes online. Like I say, it comes from by the way of Canada. And you have to say that's some pretty good lather there. pass number 2. The weather has changed quite a bit here in Oklahoma. We went from being close to 90 or in the 90s to I think the high today is supposed to be 76. Today being Saturday, there's a number of football games being played. I think today the OSU Cowboys and OU Sooners are playing. Since both teams lost some games early on in the season, the rest of these games are pretty important to them. They're going to try to make it to a bowl game. Of course, also getting closer to November. That means we're going to find out who's going to win this presidential election. Yeah, this soap's got a lot of slickness. I mean, just slide right on over. It's nice when you get a soap like that where you feel like you need to go back over a spot again. It's no big deal. Yeah, it's getting a pretty smooth shave. I can feel it. Alright, going to go ahead and rinse and get ready for the alum block. I still got plenty of lather. I mean, you can see that this lather, you can use quite a bit more just to go on it. Do it a touch-up pass if you wanted to. Like I say, I do keep another razor on hand just in case something starts to go south with the razor I'm using. I keep a DE razor over here next where I hang my brush to dry. I just have one stand that I use for that sort of thing. Let it set overnight and then I rotate them out. Because I do have hair. If I'm looking for a closer shave, I do have hair that grows in an awkward angle, and not only that, it grows in a curlicue over here, and it just, you know, every which way. So if I really wanted a much closer shave, Usually I'll go ahead and break out another razor to catch those spots, because I have not perfected the angle, the stroke, I guess, if you will, the past to catch it growing all those different angles. For me, usually the two-pass shave, going with the grain than against the grain, works just fine for me. Not really needing that kind of a close shave, unless I just, for whatever day, I'm just in the mood for one. Guess you might say what most people refer to as a socially acceptable shave. By the way, that was the Allen Block Phoenix Artisan Accoutrements. I also use witch hazel. Seems to, the two working together seem to help my skin out quite a bit. I found Humphreys at Marshall's, and they come in different flavors, if you will. And I'm not sure who actually carries them on a regular basis. For me, locally, to walk in a store, that was the only one I found them in, and it's not like they had a large supply of it either. And they only had one kind of Thayers, which is the first time I ever found it in a store, both Humphreys and Thayers. Aftershave of the day is going to be Floid. I like the Black Label. It's has a really nice scent to it, and the restrictor in this glass container is built in. In other words, it's not a plastic one. See if you can see that restrictor. Yeah, it's glass. Really nice container. If you're a person that likes that kind of, likes glass containers, Floid comes in glass. Like I said, Humphreys with the witch hazel, Venus Artisan Accoutrements with rubber band, Allen Block, soap of the day, as well as, this is the nice part I think on this brush, tells you what it is right there on the bottom in case you can't remember. Really nice. Lather is great. And here's the Shavette that was made for the Facebook group Shavette World. So if you're interested in joining our group, they not only we have postings of all kinds of razors there. The idea is that you know, I guess you might say, just accept the fact that not everybody may shave with a Shavette, and not to give everybody a hard time about it. Very supportive group. Straight edges, in other words, chic injectors, double edge, straight razors. It's a good group to be a part of. Stay safe and smooth shaves.